happened this weekend. I want to get your thoughts about it. Was the official NCAA bracket preview. If the tournament started yesterday, Saturday, February 18th, the top 16 seeds were unveiled by the selection committee. I'm going to put it on the screen now so we can kind of go through it. But essentially, the Houston Cougars are overall picked by the selection committee. If the tournament started yesterday, the Houston Cougars would be the number 2 overall seed in the NCAA tournament, which puts them at being a number 1 seed in the Midwest region. Alabama, the Alabama Crimson Tide, would be the number 1 overall seed had the tournament started yesterday, and the other 1 seeds are Purdue and Kansas. But sticking in particular with Houston and their Midwest region, which is the Sweet 16 Elite 8 matchups in that region would be in Kansas City. It's an interesting group of teams. Number 2 seed in the Midwest would be Texas. Number 3 would be Tennessee, and number 4 would be Xavier. Now, when you look at other teams in the state of Texas, number 2 seed Baylor in the South region with Alabama. It's also one of those top 16 teams. Looking at the field, again, as of February 18th, if the tournament started, this would be the top 16 seeds in the NCAA tournament. Kris, Dayon, what are your thoughts on Houston being the number 2 overall team overall in all of college basketball through games played February 17th and the potential Midwest region? Of course, it's not official, but would be interesting if that's what the Midwest region looks like for Houston if it stands 3 weeks from now. 3 weeks will be the true selection Sunday following the American Athletic Conference Championship tournament.
Kudos to ESPN's Joel Lenardi. He got it right. He predicted, stated, whatever you want to call it. He had the Cougs as the 2nd overall number 1 seed before the NCAA bracket reveal. I was glad to see it from another bracketologist guy. He was surprised, but pleasantly surprised that the Cougs were the 2nd overall because of they're in the American. They're not part of the Power 5 yet, Big 12 and all those things. And I think I sent you the tweet. I hope I did, both you guys, because Andy, I think you heard it, and I think Dan, we mentioned it in the Les French Cougs after the Cougs played St. Mary's. Coach Randy Bennett mentioned after that game how almost every other team, top team, turned down facing the Cougs in Fort Worth. You remember that, Andy? So the bracketologist yesterday said a lot of top teams have turned down facing the Cougs because of the Cougs play and because they're intimidating. So they don't get a lot of chances for quadrant 1 wins non-conference. So that 1 win in Virginia carried a lot of weight. So it's good to see. I think Chris Reynolds, the chair of the committee, mentioned Houston's win at Virginia was big and a big reason for them being 2nd number 1 overall. So kudos. Salute to the committee.
Chris, to add on to your point, that's consistent with what I've been told in terms of the non-conference schedule and some teams that, like you said, are avoided playing the Houston Cougars, regardless, even at a neutral site game. And going back to what Randy Bennett said after that December outing, I believe it was December 3 when St. Mary's and Houston played in Fort Worth, but it was kind of like last minute, and St. Mary's was the only team that would accept the invitation to play Houston again, not even at Fertitta Center or even away. It was at a neutral site game. So again, when you think about, and Chris, I know that you specifically have beef with how some people in the community might view when it comes to conference schedule, and in particular the Big 12, and how many quad 1 opportunities teams in the Big 12 have when compared to a team like Houston, even Gonzaga, that they're not part of Power 5 conference, quote unquote. So much more often their quad 1 game opportunities are very limited, and Houston has for the most part done the most out of their quad 1 opportunities this season.
Yeah, and the thing is, Dan, I'll let you add it when I say this. If top-tier teams say no or refuse to play Houston, that's not Houston's fault, okay? But committee members, bracketologists, I don't know if they don't know that or they refuse to believe it, but, I mean, Kelvin Sampson does try to schedule tough non-conference opponents. And the team say no. I mean, I think Coach Sam said it down in some Zoom calls as well. He had some other teams lined up for non-conference, and they backed out. Well, damn.
Yep.
If the Cougs play who agrees to play them. So don't penalize them so much. Well, they're not in the Big 12. They will be.
Yeah, I definitely don't think Houston's ducking no smoke. I think they will play anyone, anywhere. But I think they got it right. If that's the projection, I think they still have an opportunity to move up to the number one overall seed. I wouldn't write them off just yet. I think Alabama will have to have a strong finish to the season. Will probably win the SEC and go do well in the SEC tournament to hold on to that number one spot. But I think Houston has a chance. I think if they win their conference tournament and Alabama doesn't win there, so at least get to the championship game, Houston could jump them and get that number one seed, I think.
For me, the
Overall.
biggest thing when it comes to that bracket preview, and again, it's a preview. A lot can change from now and 3 weeks from now, but playing in the Midwest region, and in particular, like I said, the Sweet 16 Elite 8 round in that region would be in Kansas City. Not having Kansas in your region, if things shook out the way that they did yesterday, would be huge for Houston. But I'm curious to get the thoughts on the teams in that region from a matchup standpoint. Tennessee, Texas, and Xavier. I think that'd be a relatively good, favorable region when it comes to Houston matchup-wise, but I'm curious to get your guys' thoughts.
Xavier doesn't strike fear. You know, if I'm the Cougs, Texas will be a good matchup because I think Marcus Carr is a good guard, and Jabari Smith is playing very well as a guard for the Longhorns as well. That'd be fun to see. Longhorns, Tennessee would be interesting to see. That'd be like a rematch, wouldn't it be? Because they played in the
that would be the Sweet
Big 12
16
challenge.
match.
That'd be the regional semifinal. So that'd be interesting to see. But it's all about matchups, health, and the fact we're talking about the Cougs possibly being the number one overall seed. I just go back to it. Look how far this program has come.
Yeah. I mean, I think in the entire history of the Houston Cougars men's basketball program, they've only been a number one seed once, and that was back in 1983, which again, Chris, like you said, it's a sign of where the program has come, especially when right before Kelvin Sampson took over a program, which, Chris, you were covering them then way back when. Did you imagine this ever to be possible?
Hell no. Hell no. I am thrilled to see how far the program has come and will continue to build upon the foundation, because this year is just the start of, I think, better things going forward once again to the Big 12. Despite the competition in the Big 12, they're going to get better talent because they're in the Big 12. Think about that.